like and subscribe. How long would you stay married to the mother of your child if she said no more sex ever? Not about my situation. I want to know where your thresholds are. I definitely need to know why. Is this something she has never enjoyed or wanted, and only come out with it now? Asexual. Is this just because she never wants, more kids? Vasectomy. Plus condoms? Is this because she has decided she is no longer attracted to me sexually, and would prefer sexual activity elsewhere? In which case I would also be allowed sexual activity elsewhere. Whether physical, solo/alone, or with someone in different types, in person/digital etc. Is she just being spiteful about it for some reason? I need to know why, then I can think about how, then I can try to figure out if. No more sex for me, or her? I would try to better understand what is making her say this. Communication? In a relationship? Nah, I'll stick to taking advice from teenage boys on the internet. I'd want to discuss why. There's definite good reasons, but realistically removing the sex from a sexual relationship would alter it. Personally, I would not want to be in a sexless relationship, but would try to compromise before I left. If you're looking for a did to tell you it is okay to bail, yeah, I've got it. If you're genuinely trying to find the best path to take, dig into why she feels that way. Somehow I doubt that she just randomly decided to swear off sex for no reason at all. There is a reason, or a lot of reasons, and without knowing that context it is impossible to provide informed counsel. Depends. Does she mean no more sex ever with her or no sex ever with *anyone***? Also, does sex with myself count? I can't give that up. Head over to r/dead bedrooms. It's a tough Reddit, but it will prevent a dead bedroom and the deterioration of your self-esteem. Men and women both explain why they decided to opt out of sex, and decided to go LL for you, low libido for you. I follow to remind myself my partner needs sex and I can't keep it from him, because it will end up hurting him. Well, that's a depressing sub. After 15 minutes there I'm ready to head over to r/day drinking. I made it 3 years, before it ended bitterly. Now I haven't seen my child in almost 10 years, he will be 14 soon. Depends, can I have sex with someone else? I'd at least try to maintain the marriage, while communicating with her about opening the relationship, to satisfy my sexual needs. It wouldn't be fair at all, if she expected your sex life to end as well. My next stop would be an attorney. I wouldn't. The adage is my body, my choice, not my body, our choice. Furthermore, it's a two-way street. If said mother of my child wakes up one day and decides that she doesn't want to be bothered by me in that regard ever again, I can respect and abide by that. But she makes that decision on her own, and goes her own way with it. I personally won't suffer being in a relationship with a dead bedroom. No more sex for her? Sure, I'm fine with that. No more sex for me? About as long as it takes for her to file. Although there was never an explicit declaration on her part, in my case I went 7 years. I suppose it might have been shorter had there been an ultimatum at the outset. I had a real vasectomy a decade ago, so if my hypothetical wife had a child. Hey, I am having some libido issues with our relationship that make sex unappealing to me. Let us see a couples therapist. Me, okay, when is good for an appointment? V's. No more sex ever. Me, bye. There is a proper way to communicate issues in the relationship. No more sex ever, I snorted. I am not a fan of bad communication, nor patient enough to try to work through it, unless it only recently started, and is indicative of a major shift in her personality, like postpartum depression. But most people who will just make pronouncements like that will have done other weirdo prior. The last woman I was with who pulled anything like that had dropped a bunch of red flags leading up, and I left 7 months in. I did not marry her. I did not have a kid with her. I left her. You don't marry someone like that without looking over some serious red flags. So either she has been a problem, or it has a new problem. If it has a new problem, sort it. If it has been a problem, you never should have let the relationship get this far, and that is on you. As a woman, others might downvote the out Tammy, but this has to be said. Sex is oftentimes a relationship need for men, and a very valid one. There is nothing wrong with needing sexual intimacy in a relationship. It is never okay to downplay, dismiss, trivialize, or weaponize that need. Unfortunately, people oftentimes do. They withhold sex for many reasons with motives that are manipulative, controlling, and just cruel. The impact withholding sex has on a man is huge. It can and will cut him deep. His confidence will take a dive. He will begin to feel unwanted and unloved, feel guilty and ashamed, wonder what he is doing wrong, question his performance and his manhood, and his masculinity. Most people don't think so, but most men really do equate physical intimacy with emotional intimacy. Guys, if your partner has tried to make your need for sex wrong, it is because they cannot or won't meet that need. But the fact is, you cannot unneed what you need. And you are allowed to have your needs. Rant. I'm not sure, depends on how long the divorce process actually takes. I mean, if anyone's partner suddenly doesn't want to have sex anymore, the first thing one should do is probably figure out why. I think that situation is basically the peak level of I end up picking a partner. Probably leave and then have her destroy my entire life. P. Not very long. Therapy. Couples therapy. There is a reason behind it. Sometimes people feel insecure about their bodies post-childbirth. Sometimes they feel exhausted by the new infant and sex just sounds like work. Sometimes they are asexual and view sex as baby making. Sometimes they are no longer in love. Understanding the reason will let you move forward. Moving forward might mean healing and strengthening the relationship, but sometimes it means moving past / out of the relationship. Only the two of you can decide what it means for you. The conversation didn't happen, but the understanding was there. She had medical issues which made sex difficult, then dangerous. Those issues eventually led to her death. My marriage vows were until death separates us. For her to say something like that without an explanation would make me question why we are married in the first place. Communication is key, and saying no more sex ever would make her an asshole, no pun intended. My husband and I have discussed this as we're both athletes in dangerous sports, and have both sustained injuries that have taken sex off the table for a while, in one case almost a year. I'm female BTW, we decided there's a difference between can't and won't. If he or I can't have sex, we just wait it out. If one of us said never again, because I don't want to, then it's reasonable to look outside the marriage for relief. Fortunately, that seems unlikely for us. I'm a woman who left another woman, ex-wife, over pretty much this. I agreed to a certain type of expectations to be met when I entered the relationship. Why is it okay to expect me to stay in a relationship when you are opting out of my needs? I did deaded rooms, therapy, counseling. It boiled down to I have a high libido and she, over time, has nearly no libido. Our son is in a happier environment now that we aren't constantly fighting, and I'm not heavily depressed over the constant rejection. I'm a better parent. That matters more. You don't realize at the time how it affects you until years later. Being with someone who constantly rejected me hurt my core self-esteem, and I understand why men leave after dealing with it myself. I'm sure she'll understand when I go get what she isn't going to provide. I read some of the responses. A lot of people are saying context is everything, and you're insisting it is meaningless, and asking for an answer anyway, which, hey. Fine. Ask for what you want. Marriage involves some kind of mutual commitment to each other. That means there should be a closer relationship than just unexplained ultimatums from either side, and some deeper form of understanding and sacrifice. If it was just two people banging who made a baby and one wants to stop. Okay, well, no one formally promised anything, so it's not super complex. But if two people got married, promised to be joined in some special way, then whether that marriage continues as it should depends on how the relationship is functioning as a whole. One small, though important, aspect can't capture that. If you don't want to give more details, that's your right, but then there's no way to meaningfully answer your question. The bars are open until 2. I can change that. Sex should never be leverage, and if it is, they can go themselves. This goes for men and women. I have this problem, been a few years since the kids were born, and we are done having children. She got her tubes tied, her choice. She's done with 6, nothing medical, just doesn't want it. Blames her hormones and calls it a chore. I know I'm not selfish in bed or bad, and I highly doubt she is having an affair, or getting it elsewhere, and our relationship for the most part is pretty good, date nights etc. On top of this, she is always often miserable. She is a boat anchor. We can't do anything fun as a family either, because she can't do it, and lists a million pointless reasons as to why. It's too hot, too far, or too cold. Or because of some stupid chore, like cleaning the house or laundry. Dinner has to be at exactly 5 p.m. or she will die. My 2 daughters and I are prisoners, because of a miserable hormonal. Who can't identify she has a problem? So tell me, how much longer do you think I have? Who will be the asshole for leaving? Who will my kids blame? Who will be the one who quit? Who will be the one to lose everything? Me. The truth doesn't matter when it comes to this. Welcome to the quiet desperately on that a lot of men spend my whole lives with. I dream of having a small apartment for me and my girls and all the fun things we can do together, but it will never be. Is my happiness worth it? I could be a great father and husband and just swallow all of these feelings and find other outlets. I believe in sacrifice for your family and just doing your duty, but at what cost? The day I get seduced and cheated will be my fault, no one else's. Doesn't matter the context, you are still the piece of in society eyes, no matter what you do. So get used to it. Forever. It is marriage. There is part in the marriage vows that says anal sex is off the table. That being said, it won't be easy. I think I would discuss alternatives with her. Open relationship, swinging, something. Maybe go see a marriage/sex counselor to find a resolution. Worst case scenario, I'd just jerk off for the rest of my life. Not the end of the world. I think to have and to hold means 6. They just don't want to announce it in front of the family. This is such an interesting question. While I'm not a male here, I can say it depends on the partner. My husband, or ex, recently ended our 16-year marriage, 20-year relationship, because of the lack of sex. For me, I was just tired, kids, past trauma extension. He always said he understood, but I felt he never fully communicated his need. Fast forward to a month ago, he cheated, realized someone else was willing to meet his needs. It hurt. We talked, he expressed what he needed, and we tried to reconcile. I was eyeing him so much, best sex in the entire marriage, that now he has told me that it feels forced, and I'm now pushing him away. He said he wanted to stay married, but have an open marriage. He also said that, if we stayed married, he doesn't want to me, but he would. IDK what that means. Me personally, I don't want to share my husband. So, now we have separated, or are getting a divorce. He says he doesn't care either way. I do know that he has been talking and seeing the woman he cheated on me with. I might add he has blown her off on 3 different occasions, last one being for a week, to try to make the marriage work again. My biggest regret is that I wish our communication had been better to have solved this problem before it became a bigger one. Side note, I don't know if he is purposely trying to push me away or what his mindset is now. He was telling me he loved me, then now it's he doesn't. He says I have drained him, but will try to come to bed and cuddle on occasion. He hasn't changed our marriage status, and he still has me listed as wife in his phone. Since our lease isn't up until September, we have to live together. Today is a good day. I have accepted that the marriage is over, and that he has chosen her for what he felt I couldn't do. Like I said, I wished we could had better communication. This is not the best subreddit to ask this. This is way above our pay grade. Try r/relationship advice at least, but more importantly try relationship counseling. At the very least, just for you. This is serious. You need professional guidance. I asked here on purpose. I am a long-time member of that other sub too. Thanks though, I specifically wanted Menela's opinions on this to see where they would draw the line. I know what I need to do. This wasn't it about me. I'd probably suggest therapy, and try to get to the root problem of the lack of sex drive. If she refused to entertain finding the cause and subsequently a solution, or just straight up told me she isn't doing that, it'd be divorce. Two happy but separate parents are better than two miserable and fighting parents living under the same roof and exposing their toxicity to their child every single day. Until the divorce was finalized. I made a promise, so the rest of my life. If she said that to me, she'd probably have a good reason. I respect that. Assuming there's a good reason, e.g. it's not spite, indefinitely. I'm not a religious sort, so I'm not going to bore you with some till death do us part nonsense. Marriage is an agreement to partnership. All other things being equal, I'd stay with her for two simple reasons. Asterisk my love's not predicated on sexy times. I love her because of her, not because of what her junk can do for me. Asterisk we've got a kid to raise. A partnership in that endeavor gives the highest chance for success, even once the kid's grown up. That said, I would likely try to negotiate an agreement with her for extramarital affairs. Ideally we'd find someone who isn't looking to get married for me to have fun with. If something happens as a result, and everyone would be happier if we split, we can discuss a separation and divorce later, but that wouldn't be the plan, and it would ideally have minimal impact on the kid's level of support. For context, I'm presently married, and we've discussed things along these lines already, not the no sex, but the concepts of permissible adultery, of theoretical divorce, etc. Communication is important in relationships, and we're in agreement that using romance to suppress realistic concerns is dumb, so my situation may be a little better placed than most men's. So nothing changes? I'm confused. I would ask straight up, since she is being so blunt. Do you want me to open up the marriage, at least on my end? Otherwise, no. The answer is I would not stay with her at all. But I would say okay, I understand, without letting on that I was planning on walking, and then start talking to lawyers, and doing research and slowly start to detangle the finances. I'm sure you can find a Reddit on how to do all this. There are other things you will need to do and not do, but I don't have time to list them. Go talk to like 10 lawyers. Note this is assuming you are in the US. Can't speak to other countries. Being asexual, I wouldn't care. Lol. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck. 3 weeks of